Hey guys, a new video. Just wanted to mention this because I've seen a post this morning as I was drinking my morning coffee. I saw a post on LinkedIn about how software engineering is just moving data around, and that was for the most part accurate. It just needed one more thing. It needed to say that software engineering is just moving data around with the goal of transforming it. Usually that is the goal. Like, even if you just move it from one side of the computer to the other, you are going to be transforming it in the process, right? But anyway, that's just my little addition to it. What I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of people in the comments, like most were okay with the comment itself, and most were saying, yeah, sure, it is actually just that. But some people, a lot of them actually, were trying to justify it somehow, right? They were trying to add stuff like, oh, it's an art form, which, you can say that, okay, sure, it is, but at its core, it is just moving data around. Or that it involves critical thinking and creativity and all sorts of good stuff, which it does, most definitely, right? In order for you to achieve that goal, you do need to be creative about it, and you do need to have critical thinking um, and know a lot of concepts, so to say, about doing your job. But what stuck out to me was the fact that these people who were, trying to make it sound more complex, or they were just trying to justify it. And I would just like to add to these people and to anybody who thinks like that about any domain in this world, because they were trying to justify it, probably thinking, or feeling ashamed that they are making much more money than a lot of others are nowadays. And so they were trying to justify this whole what software engineering is and why it's actually worth the money. No, you don't need to justify anything when you're selling a product or a service at the current market value. There's nothing for you to justify. There is no issue that you need to go into. That is the market, right? I'll give you an example. If you're trying to sell a house and it's in a good position, right? So maybe the house is like 100 years old and it's got like no roof over it, and it's in a shitty state, but the location of it is very important, and the ground underneath it is worth the money that is being asked, just because everything around it is worth that money. Then you're not going to justify the price of that house. You're just going to say, this is the price. If you want it, sure. If you don't want it, just as good. But on the other side, if you're trying to sell a house and it's in a bad location, but I'll give you the opposite example. But you've put a lot of money into the house, and a lot of money, let's say, into the fencing, right, into the wall. You've literally built a wall around your property, which is hideous and has costed you a lot of time and money, way more than it should have. If you're going to come up and make the sale proposition to me and say, oh, well, I'm asking for more than the other neighboring houses because I invested in the wall, and I'm going to be, why do I have to pay for your mistakes? I didn't want that wall. I would not have built that wall. I would have just made a normal fencing around it. So you've spent a lot of money, which I consider to be a mistake. I do not value your mistake. I'm not going to pay for it. And so the market, right, is kind of subjective in some aspects, but there is an objective inherent value to everything at a certain price point and at a certain time point. And right now, coming back to software engineering, it has high value. Just moving data around, if you do it fast enough and well enough, right, these two things, if you do the data movement fast and good, you deserve the money that is currently being paid. So don't feel guilty about it. Don't try to justify it. Learn a bit of sales, learn a bit of marketing, and you will quickly understand that that is how everything in this world works. You might be an individual thinking that, well, I'm thinking kind of bad because, like, look at everybody else that's not making all that much money and whatever. All the big corporations, all the big companies, all the banks, all the governments, they all do this. If something has value, they will charge what the value is at the current time. Doesn't matter if it's actually objectively there the value or not. So right now, software engineering is still highly valued. Don't try to justify it. Just say, this is my rate, this is my experience. I'm well worth the money. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this, and see you guys next time.